Uh,
All right, everybody, what's good? What's good? Everybody pile on there. How everybody doing? We got this exclusive interview. How you doing, Nina Nene? Sally Halo, Fees, Scandalous Love, Rita's daughter, TB. How everybody doing? Cutie Queen, Lovely the Great, Charles J. My brother is Jay. Shout out to my brother King Rob and King Yaya. Miss Bowlegs, how you doing? Natalie, Angeli, Jay, Shana, how y'all doing today? Yeah, it's good old late afternoon rolling to the early evening. Y'all know how we do it. We like to provide nothing but receipts. Everything me and Rob say, everything me and Rob say, we like to just provide truth. We've been doing that since day one, and especially dealing with this situation with Chosen King. We everything that he's taking us all through, and we just fighting to just get everything out, expose everything. As far as this dude going in people accounts, still we don't two women we know for that he has stole large amounts. We got the melon where he stole $3,000 after she made a donation. Then we got the other woman dealing with the trip that we took. Her whole bank account was wiped out. And we know that this guy's involved in identity theft, and everything. But for the past few days, especially yesterday, from the videos we've been showing, we know that the fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree. And this interview we're about to do now, we got the sister over the phone. She's on the phone right now, and I'm gonna let her say hi to everybody. You like to speak to say hi to the everybody because it's a lot of people coming in. I'm just let you say hi to her, and then from there we can get it going.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
All right. Yeah, this is now this sister on the phone. This is a sister that chosen, this sister right here. I'm gonna let her tell you, but I'm just gonna, give a small introduction of what we about to talk about. This woman right here is, she's in the same boat with us far as trusting this guy. Here it is. She trusted this guy and even moved him in her home. And and immediately she knew that that was a big mistake she made. But like I said, I'm gonna let her tell you, and she's going to confirm a lot of things that we currently investigating on this dude, things that we have found out about this dude. And I respect this woman, and I talk to her to the extent y'all know how we do. I believe everything she's saying 100%. I have no doubt. I don't even have a grain of doubt of anything that this lady's saying, and I'm quite sure y'all won't either. So with that being said, we're gonna kick this thing off. All right. First of all, do before we sit, when I address you, sister, do you want me to address you by your name, or you want to keep that secret?
I don't have a problem with you saying my name.
Okay. All right. All right. Her name is Kalandra. And one thing I want to say before we kick the interview off, y'all, we're gonna support this sister. She has things going on, and we'll get off into that. Let's show her some support because, like I said, anybody that come in and help us reveal this thing and expose this dude, you know, that means that we all standing together as a family. And so, like I said, with that being said, me and Kalandra, finna, just lay everything out on the table. All right. Now, Kalandra, I want you to tell the people, how did you first meet Chosen King? How did you come about meeting this guy?
I met him because I started following the Kanika Jenkins case on Facebook, and Facebook led me to YouTube. And he had asked all people that subscribed under him find him on Facebook. So he started inboxing me on Facebook, and it was just messages exchanged here and there for a while. But over time, he started acting like he was interested in me.
Okay, hold on. You kind of faded out a little bit. You said over time he started acting like he was interested into you after you met him on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, you can continue, Kalandra. I'm sorry.
So I took a trip out to meet him in Houston, and he was staying with his mom. And it just went from there. He said that he didn't want to be in Houston anymore. So he had to think I am.
Okay, Kalandra. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Kalandra. You said at this point, you said when you met him, and then when you took a trip to Houston, this is where he was at. And then when you took a trip to Houston, you said Chosen told you that he didn't really want to be in Houston anymore. Did he give you a reason why he didn't want to be in Houston anymore?
He did. He nervous about like people were watching him.
Oh,
that location was too hot, so they needed to go somewhere where people wouldn't know where he was.
Okay, he said that he was ready to leave Houston because he was nervous, people watching him. Did he ever give you any clue? I mean, like any further extent of that? Why would people be watching him, and why would he be nervous? Did he ever tell you anything of why he was feeling that way?
He didn't go into detail. It was dealing directly with anything he had put out about Kanika's case. And this was during the time when he was saying that they were hacking the phone line. Mm-hmm. So he was saying that he felt like the police were involved. And the job he had at the time, he was having to walk to work. He felt like people may have been watching him while he was walking.
And this was still while he was in Houston?
Yes.
Okay, now, up until this point, okay, you said you met him on Facebook, and then you take a trip to Houston to physically meet him for the very first time. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now when you went to meet him that very first time, is that the time he moved out? That first time you went to meet him?
No.
Okay.
He didn't move in with me for maybe months, maybe after that.
You said he didn't move in with you till maybe a month after that?
Yeah, maybe a month and a half.
Okay, and if you could, Kalandra, can you just speak a little bit louder?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, now here it is. You went and saw him, and I'm quite sure in between that month before he moved with you, y'all was just communicating probably over the phone and over the internet. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, now your second trip back to Houston, when you go and pick him up, can you tell us, about that?
The second trip was sooner than it was supposed to be. He was supposed to move here in February, but ended up having to get it for Christmas. And that's because he had quit his job. And so when I went to pick him up, it was a last minute trip. But we had discussed the job when he got here. And that never happened. He never did even look for a job.
Okay, so
he just started saying that he was looking for the stuff he does on Patreon.
Okay, all right. So basically, when you went to get him, and you agreed to let him move with you, he had promised that he was going to get a job and everything, and then you said when he got to your house, that didn't happen.
No.
Okay, now I just want to back up a minute before we get get to the point that he arrived at your house. Can you tell everybody, like, when you went to pick him up, can you tell like what happened, like the point from when you arrived and everything at the house? Wait, first of all, where was he? Who was he living with when you went to pick him up?
He was still living with his mom when I went to pick him up.
Okay, and is this the real mom or the adopted mom?
His birth mother.
This is his birth mother. He was still living with her when you went to go pick him up?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay. And can you just tell the people how that went?
She was at home, but I didn't meet her. He had all his stuff sitting outside by the front door. And so he took everything from the front porch and put it in my car, and we left. And I never did get to meet her in person. I've only talked to her over the phone.
Oh, you said you only talked to her on the phone. Okay, all right. Now, when you went to go pick him up from his mother house, I recall, you were saying something about her television that he took with him.
Yes, at the time it was just the television. But after I talked to her, and we talked after I put him out because she wanted to know what happened. But she told me that was her television. He had bought it for her, and she was surprised to see it gone when she woke up.
So when you had the conversation with his real birth mother, she told you that Chosen had took the television that he had brought her, and she didn't realize it until she woke up. So she had to be completely asleep while he was moving out. He didn't even want her to know, is what it sounded like to me.
No, he didn't. He said she didn't realize sleep, and he felt upset that he say bye.
Okay, you was kind of breaking up a little bit. Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, I said that she was upset that he would say bye, that she had to wake up and see all his stuff was gone.
Yeah, she said she was upset that she had to wake up and find out that all his stuff was gone and that her TV was missing.
Yes.
Okay, but you also said that the television wasn't the only thing that she realized that was missing. What else did you say he took out of her house?
Lima Rita.
He took her liquor out of her house.
Her liquor, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and yeah, we're gonna get into that too. Drinking problem he got. Okay, now at this point, okay, you pick him up, and did that seem strange to you that he would have you come pick him up at his mother's house and not introduce you to his mother? And first of all, when you pull up, you see all this stuff sitting outside. Did that seem strange to you?
It did, and I asked him about it, but he, just played it off like I was just anxious to leave. And I didn't want to disturb her because she has been working, so I let her get her rest.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, you would think that he would even just want to say bye to his mom, or like I said, introduce his mom to the person that's coming to pick him up.
You would think.
Yeah, but that wasn't the case. Okay, now,
No.
okay, can you just pick up from there, y'all leaving his house, and the trip back to your place?
Well, the trip back, he talked to you and Rob the entire trip.
He was on the phone with me and Rob the entire trip?
Yes, and that's a 5-hour drive.
Okay, 5-hour drive. Okay, now I can now like me and Rob told you yesterday, it was many of times when me and Rob would be on the phone with Chosen, and he would just try to make us think that the reason he wasn't really, he really didn't want to be at your place is because he moved in your house, paid all your bills, looked out for you, cleaned your yard, furnished the crib, and he was telling us that you wasn't appreciative of that. So he was saying that he didn't like that. So due to that, he wanted to leave. And along with that, he even fed Rob the story about the internet being shut off, and Rob paid the bill. So could you just tell everybody about that?
Yes, when he moved here, I already had cable and internet. This is a service that's provided through my landlord, but the signal is weak. It's stronger for what he does with YouTube and Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
So he called Rob and asked him to pay whatever amount they told him the deposit was. And I asked him after he got off the phone, why did he have Rob to pay that? Because he had cash money on him, $900 to $1,000 of cash on him. And he said that Rob had said he would handle any type of business stuff for him. So that's why he got him to do it. And as far as it being for me, I never used the internet. He got 2 house phones. I never used those. I have a cell phone. So that was all strictly for him. As far as furniture,
You kind of breaking up a little bit.
what was the last thing you heard?
When you was like, as far as, and then you broke up from there.
Oh, as far as him furnishing my house,
Yeah.
no. When he moved here, the furniture I had when he moved here is the same things I had when he left. He didn't add anything to it. He did not get a job. He did not help pay a bill. And he only bought groceries for himself towards the end because I was fed up and just tired. So you're going to have to take care of yourself until you figure out your next move.
Okay. Now, so far as him feeding me and Rob that story about him doing all that and you just being unappreciative, he was just basically lying about all that.
Yes, because I didn't ask him to do anything. You know, at his age and at my age, I'm assuming everybody knows you have to get a job to provide for yourself. So I didn't think I would have to go over that conversation with him again, but I did. And he said that he had to put more into the internet, trying to figure out how to get his subscribers up so that he could just work from home.
Okay.
But he never tried to get a job. He wasn't interested in that.
Okay. Yeah, he so at that point, so yeah, now we know that, really me and Rob, and I'm glad we did, finally get a chance to get in touch with you because we were searching for you. And because we knew that he, for some reason, and Rob didn't even say nothing, neither did I. He just, for some reason, maybe he thought we was going to say something about it when we first exposed him. He just came out and said something about the cable bill and tried to say Rob didn't pay for it. But, he was just doing all this mentally unstable, stuff he doing. But, we're going to continue, and from that point, okay, you say he moved in and everything, and he didn't pay. And then, so obviously you knew that he was on the phone with me and Rob every day, all day.
Yes, I would answer the phone sometimes and give it to him. But he talked to a lot of people too, and I'm not sure who all he talked to.
Mm-hmm.
And when he left and took the phones with him, I'm thinking he took them so that I couldn't see how much he had been calling.
Okay, can you repeat that again? Because you broke up just a little bit.
I said when he left and took the phones with him, I bought.
He took the phones that you brought.
Because he didn't want me to see the numbers in the phone.
Right. So, well, hold on. You said he took the phones that you brought when he left. How can he do that?
When he moved here, he got the service started, but we didn't have any phones for a landline. I went to Walmart and bought some phones. He did say that he would give me the money for it, but he never did.
So he never repaid you for the phones that you went and brought?
No.
Okay, you can continue. And so when you said he tried to leave with him, or he did leave
with him?
No,
he did leave with him. I didn't realize he took the phones until I dropped him off at the other lady's house in Houston and came back home.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to Rashida.
But he left the main part of the phone system is still here in the house now. Mm-hmm. So that was what he realized that he took.
Wait a minute, are you talking about home phones?
Yes.
So you telling me this guy left your house with a home phone and left the base to the phone? He left the base to the phone at your house, but he left with the actual phone.
Yes.
That was dumb. So right, so that makes sense. You said you said you think he done that because he didn't want you to see the numbers that was in the phone.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, all right. So from at this point, you gotta know he's like heavily involved in the case, and you seeing the things he doing on YouTube. You seeing how he talking, every day, all day on the phone with with me and Rob. So now my next question, Kalandra, is around the time when wait, first let me back up a little bit. Now we all know that when Chosen came out initially, his whole thing was that Teresa Martin was heavily involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
And did he ever like talk to you about that? About his view, or why was he saying that? Did he ever speak on that?
I mean, he just always, backed it up to the Illuminati theory, getting paid, for making deaths. I don't think he really believed that um, everything that they were saying happened was exactly what happened. He did feel like, but he never like really said he was convinced that it was Kanika.
Okay. Now, okay, all right, now, okay, now, like I said, at this point, you know that, we all know that, he was like coming out saying these things about Teresa Martin. Yesterday you mentioned something that has struck me, like blew me back. And I would like for you to tell everybody that's listening about the text that you saw Chosen get and who was that text them.
Yeah, that was the first time I went to meet him, and we were going to get something to eat. And he reached his phone over and just kind of showed me the screen and said, that Teresa is texting.
Wait, can you repeat that? You broke up just a little bit. And can you speak a little bit louder? Because everybody really trying to hear this.
We were going to get something to eat. This is the first time.
The first time that you went and met him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm driving. Reaches his phone up, shows me the screen,
mm-hmm.
and said, "This is crazy that Teresa is texting me and going off on me." And I'm like, "Teresa who?" And he said, "Teresa, Kanika Teresa."
So let me stop you.
Why?
Right. Okay. I'm sorry, Kalandra. Let me stop you right there. So at this point, you saying that y'all was riding his phone and he should reach over to show you that, and you said he said this is crazy, Teresa Martin, and we're talking about Teresa Martin from Chicago that's connected to the Kanika Jenkins case from the Crown Plaza. This is what we talking about. That he's saying text him. Am I right? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, well, one thing before you finish, I want to clarify something. When you say that Teresa Martin texted him, are you saying she texted his actual cell phone?
I'm not sure what screen he had it on. I have an iPhone, and that's not the type of phone. I don't know if it was a text message screen or inbox, but he said text.
Right. And so for a person, normally when a person say text, it's his actual phone. I mean, you couldn't okay, right. You said, okay, just going to continue. Like what happened like with that far as that? You said she texted him and then what?
So I just asked, why would she be texting you?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I hope that she went off on me about the things I have to say about her.
Wait a minute, back up. I'm sorry, Kalandra. I don't know why this it's a little bit choppy. But okay, you said you asked him why would Teresa Martin be texting him?
Yes.
And what did he say?
He said he did not know, but she was upset about the things he had to say about her.
She was upset with the things that Chosen have been saying?
Yeah, about her.
Wow. Okay, and then what?
I really didn't ask anything else about it. He kept looking at the phone, but I dropped it. I really was never that invested in the case.
Right, and then that had to like strike you strange, because here it is. She's texting him, going off on him, and then he has, the nerve to tell you that she's texting him. But he's all on YouTube, acting like, he's so against her.
Yeah, it was strange. It was strange.
Right, because go ahead. I'm sorry.
That same weekend was the weekend that he said Miss Barbara had reached out to him.
Right, and I was finna move into that next, but before we move into that, let me ask you this: okay, like with the whole thing, Teresa texting him and everything, and then like I said, he's on YouTube. You know, me and Rob, we did feel that, you know, later on when we started noticing things, that it was a possibility that, you know, Chosen and Teresa knew each other.
Wow.
And then, you know, that just make more sense when you know, you sit here and you tell us that, you know, she texted them, because we couldn't understand, like you just mentioned, Miss Barbara, and we were just recently talking about why would here it is, a supposedly woman coming out saying that that's not Kanika Jenkins in the casket, and it's her daughter Antonia Evans in the casket. But what one thing we couldn't understand is, why would Teresa Martin refuse to respond to her and respond to Chosen? You know, that seemed it
Right.
mighty odd to us. Did that seem odd to you?
It did. I would ask him about that type of stuff, you know, but he would just look like a deer caught in headlights and not even have a response for it.
That's crazy. But
Because I asked him how was it that Miss Barbara even came across him, like an older lady?
mm-hmm.
How does she know you? Of all people to get in touch with, why you?
Right, and see, that was another issue. That's a main issue. And you know, like when you know, like there it is again. He doing all this mildly retarded stuff. You know, he just recently went on YouTube and was trying to convince everybody that when Miss Barbara came along, that me and Rob, she got up with me and Rob. And like we all know that you was around, Chosen was living with you at the time. You know, he brought Miss Barbara out. But can you tell everybody how that went?
He's saying that you and Rob were the ones that bought Miss Barbara
Yeah,
out.
that's what he's telling everyone.
Oh wow. Okay, no, they did not have anything to do with it. That was all. They met Miss Barbara.
Wait, you breaking up? You breaking up a little bit, Calandra. Can you start over, please?
I was saying that you all met Miss Barbara. Is it still breaking up?
No, you good. You good. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was all him. He was the one that initiated communication with her. He listened to her story. He so-called did his own research. Um, and then he started yeah.
Okay, so my question is, when um how did really Miss Barbara come into play? How did she come about? How did she come into the
He,
whole thing?
he said he got an email from her saying that she was supposed to be the mother of the body in the casket.
That's what he told you?
Yes.
Okay, and what else? What happened after that?
Well, he asked me what did I think about it, and I said I didn't have an opinion either way. It's that thing. How does she know that that's her daughter? And then why is it that she's contacting you? And he didn't have too much to say.
Right, because my whole thing was like, right, like what you just said, as far as you know, her going down, you know, her ending up coming to him, because here it is. This woman sat and said that she had reached out to a few YouTubers before she even landed to him. But my whole thing is, if everybody on YouTube was siding with Teresa Martin, why would you even reach out to him when there was only one guy? And when I say one, it was only one guy that stood on YouTube that went against Teresa Martin. So why even mess around with the people that's siding with Teresa Martin and not just go straight to Chosen?
Right.
And you know, now I think is the reason she reached out to them other YouTubers. It was just part of the plan. It was just to prep things up, to, you know, get everybody ready to draw that attention. So when she landed at Chosen, But you said Chosen was living with you when he got the email, and all that. But for some reason he trying to make everybody think that me and Rob was the one that brought Miss Barbara into this. But I got a question. That like the email. Did he ever show you the email?
No, I didn't see the email.
Mm-hmm.
It was on his computer. I never physically saw it.
Because me and Rob used to ask him. He had promised to show me and Rob the email so many times, and we never saw the email either. We went strictly off what he was telling us. We went strictly off that. But yeah, and I'm glad you here to set the record straight on that, far as how Miss Barbara came into play. Now, the thing, far as him backing Miss Barbara, Miss Barbara and everything, did you ever hear him like speak on that? Like far as the reason, did you ever actually like hear him on the phone talking to Miss Barbara or anything?
No, the only time that I would hear that is if all of y'all were talking together.
Okay.
But I worked a lot of hours,
Mm-hmm.
so what he was doing during the daytime when I wasn't around, I don't know.
Right. And like I also remember yesterday you said something about one night you got up and you touched his computer and how he act. Can you tell the people about that?
Yeah, what was he playing? It was Power, the show Power.
Mm-hmm.
And he had let me watch it, and when it went off, I was trying to figure out how to start another episode,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't figure it out. But when he woke up and he was like, "What are you doing?" it, I guess made him nervous. His computer.
You
So he
said,
locked it.
hold on, you broke. Hold on,
then
I'm sorry, Kalanja, you broke up a little bit. You said when he saw that you were touching his computer, it made him what?
nervous.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. You can finish.
And I had clicked off of the screen, and he had his inbox open on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
With a conversation. I didn't look at any of it, but I guess that may have been what made him nervous.
Okay.
And so he locked the computer, and then he stopped keeping it around me.
You said he locked it and he stopped keeping it around you?
Yeah.
Wow. That's them true signs of somebody that's trying to hide something.
Yeah. He's very secretive and a big liar.
What makes you say that?
Because I'm sitting up here watching him, like the mother of his youngest child
Mm-hmm.
was needing diapers.
Mm-hmm.
And he's telling her he's broke.
Mm-hmm.
But he's sitting on probably at that time almost $2,000 because he had started getting paid from Patreon.
Okay, now let's just stop right there. Now, are you telling me that you said this guy got approximately about $2,000 in his pocket? And at the same time, because he was at your house for a very short period of time. So are you telling me that during the time he was at your house, he had about $2,000 on him at this particular time? And along with him having $2,000 in his pocket, he asked Rob to pay a $70-some cable bill. And at the exact same time, you telling me his kid's mother is asking him for diapers. Now, we already know that, as far as what you said, and Rob proved that he did pay the bill, but Rob wasn't even on that. But, and do you recall when Rob paid that bill? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I was sitting right here.
Right. So, and you just said when Rob paid the bill, you asked Chosen, why you asking another man to pay the bill? But, my question is, like I said, you say he had $2,000 in his pocket when he asked Rob to pay the bill. But when his kid's mother was asking him for the diapers, while he got about $2,000 on him, did he buy the diapers?
No, he
I didn't. You kind of broke up a little bit. And my question was, did Chosen buy the diapers?
no, he didn't. He didn't give her the money, and so he said that's what she.
I mean, I know I ain't asking you like this, but I'm just saying, you know, out of the air, like, why wouldn't he buy his kids diapers and he got like $2,000 in his pocket?
He makes it seem like he helps people, but he doesn't. It's all he just gets for himself.
Did he ever give you any
So,
money during the time he was staying with you? Just to, you know,
did
help?
he give me any?
Yeah.
He gave me some money to buy a tire. And he wanted me to go buy a used tire. But no, I'm not giving you tires.
Yeah, I do remember him saying something about a tire, but even that time he was saying, you know, that was around the time when he was saying he was doing all this stuff for you and he had to get out of your house because you was unappreciative and you was coming in and you wasn't showing him no affection and he tried to be cool with you and you know he was just painting you out to be this bad person.
Yeah, he would be at the house every day
You said he will
drinking.
wait, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that? Because you broke up when you said that one word, it cut off. You said he would get what?
Be at the house all day, every day, drinking, eating up what is in the house, and just on the internet.
Now the drinking
So,
thing, the drinking thing. Yesterday you mentioned how much of a heavy drinker, and you know from what you described, you know that's a real alcoholic. You know, no games. And can you just tell the people about Chosen and his heavy drinking problem?
yes, now he said out of his mouth that he didn't like to say that he drinks because he didn't want that image out there of him.
He didn't like
So
Houston because you say he didn't like Houston because of what?
he didn't like for people to know he drinks.
Okay.
You know, so I guess because he puts on a good Christian act.
Yeah, the Christian act.
Yeah. But he goes through bottles of liquor, like in a day and a half, and he's ready to go back to the liquor store and get some more.
And I noticed how yesterday you said he would get up in the morning and don't even give a damn about eating some breakfast or something. He would rather have something to drink.
Yeah, like the car I had was a stick shift, so he didn't know how to drive it.
Mm-hmm.
So he would ask me if I could take him to the liquor store before I go to work.
He would ask you to take him to the liquor store before you go to work?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm getting off and I ask him, do you need to go get something before I come in for the day? Yeah, I want to run to the liquor store.
But he had
So
to.
he stayed here for a month, and by that time, I already knew where he wanted to go.
Was to the liquor store.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see what I mean by this guy just playing games. You know, me and Rob, we're not in this to be trying to mislead nobody or playing the games. And this dude just putting up more pictures and it just create a people family. But his thing is that he's mad that he's being exposed. Like he make up all these fabricated stories, like when he was telling us. But you know, and I'm gonna be honest with you. At that time, me and Rob, you know, we wasn't blaming you for the things and nothing. We was just listening to the dude, and a lot of people was, you know. And when I say that, the fact that he was like, "Oh, I got to get up out of her house," and you know, she non-supportive, and you know, defection and all that. The dude just a compulsive liar. He's a compulsive liar, and he fabricate things to fit his scam. Okay, and so with that being said, my next question is, you know, we just not too long recently got a hold to his criminal background thing. And you know, like I was telling you yesterday, with him getting a 10-year sentence and not spending a day in the prison, you know, all that was just strange. But did he ever mention to you anything about that?
He did. I just can't remember what he said about it. I keep thinking about it. I what you told about that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Just give me 1 second. All right. Now yesterday you had said we was talking and we was on the phone, and I was telling you about this whole ordeal that's going on with people's identities being stolen and everything. And you told me that he mentioned to you dealing with him with this stuff. Can you please tell the people about that?
He just said that he had a real bad background and that he used to do a lot of stuff that he was ashamed of. And he did mention robbing people, and he talked about, I don't remember the term for, you can say identity theft, but that wasn't how he said it. I can't remember how he put it, but basically still the same thing. Credit card fraud, that type of stuff.
And see, and that's what I mean by this stuff, affected a lot of people. And again, I want to tell you, I'm glad you got out of that situation. I'm glad you got out of that situation because it was dangerous because, the hole is getting deeper with this guy. And, like me and Rob was telling you yesterday, it's people, that surrounding, that this guy have been around and people coming up dead, with the organ thing, and all that, and people switching names. And the whole thing, and it's the scamming and identity theft, all this stuff is crazy. But it just let us know that we are on the right track. And we are, and yeah, and you say but when he told you about it, so obviously he tried to make it sound like it was something that he used to do and wasn't into anymore.
Right.
Right. Yeah, but it's crazy. So at this point where we at now, you meet this guy on Facebook, and from following him on YouTube with the Kenneka Jenkins case, and you eventually going to meet him. The first time. Then the second trip back to Texas, you pick him up, and he got his things sitting outside his mother's house. Didn't want you to. Did he want you to come? Did you go in?
No, I didn't go in, and he didn't either. His stuff was in the house when I got there. Stuff, and when I said I'm pulling up, he came outside and got all of his stuff and got in my car, and we left.
Wow. So, all right. So now you in Houston, Texas. You picking this guy up. He got his things sitting outside, including his mother wine coolers and her television that he's trying to sneak out the house while she's asleep. And now y'all make it back to your place, and he, like you said, he didn't help you out, and none of that. He doing all this suspicious activity. You noticing all these crazy things. You said, while y'all was riding or somewhere in the car, he get a text from Teresa Martin. She going off on him. And I mean, okay, but let me stop right there. Did he text her back? Was they going at it or something? Can you about that? Like when she texted him?
I don't know about that part. Like I said, I tuned it out after he showed me the screen.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So at this point, you see all this crazy stuff going on. Then here come the Miss Barbara thing. He bringing this in, and I noticed something else you said yesterday when you mentioned how Chosen would be on the phone with me and Rob, and you would just want to reach out to me and Rob so bad. Can you tell the people about that?
Yeah, because a lot of times Rob would call and I would answer, and I would go ahead and give the phone to Chosen. Mm-hmm. But after that second week, I was wanting to just say, y'all need to leave him alone. There's something not right about him. You need to leave him alone. It's almost like taking everybody's hard work and
Wait, Kalandra, you broke up a little bit. You said he was doing what?
Taking everybody's hard work, but the one that's getting the glory from it.
Right, he was taking everybody's hard work, and he the one getting glory. True that. You're absolutely right. That's he was doing that.
Yeah.
He was doing that. And taking everybody hard work and he was getting glory wrong. But to go back in the Patreon thing, I noticed you mentioned something about when he started Patreon, he was getting all this money. But do you know, not that it didn't matter, because you know, me and Rob never asked him for anything. Me and Rob never asked Chosen for anything, nor expected anything from him. But for some odd reason, we knew that he was getting paid through Patreon, but he was trying to make me and Rob and the subs think that he wasn't. Can you tell the people, you know, tell the family that's listening? Can you tell them about that, about Chosen and the way he was getting paid through the Patreon?
Yeah, they send out a monthly check, and he had just started Patreon a little before he moved in here. So by the time he got his first payment from me,
You said by that time he had just got his first payment?
A little, like a few days after he moved in.
Okay.
And then he noticed that his number had started down. He's been on Patreon. And I told him that made everyone believe that they had to go to Patreon because you were going to get off of YouTube. But you didn't do that. So who in their right mind would be paying $1 to hear what they can go get for free?
Right, and that's what you told him?
Yes. So he said, well, he was going to start doing Patreon more, which is basically saying he wants to keep getting that money. So you really are about getting the money and not just get the content.
Right. So and so you can contest that, you know, he was doing all this with the Patreon. But and then you said you had to tell, right, and that is strange. That's dumb. And you asked him, why would you tell everybody you're about to leave YouTube and have them go pay over to Patreon, and it defeat the purpose because they're not supposed to see you on YouTube anymore, but you still over there. And so that's cutting in his Patreon money, right? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right, but he still was getting paid from Patreon.
Yes. Yes, he was. He was getting money other ways. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing because he had asked me to take him to Western Union to pick up some money that somebody was sending him. Mm-hmm. And he said it was for her, but
well, you broke up a little bit, Kalonji. He said it was for what?
A beat that he made, but he didn't make any beats while he was living here.
The only beating that dude was probably doing was while you at work beating himself.
Yeah.
But you know, okay, now this way it get deep at. You said that Chosen mentioned to you about having a brother in Chicago.
Yeah, he said something about him being into music, rapping or something.
His brother.
And he made it seem like he had never been to Chicago, but said he had a brother out there.
Wow. But you can't remember this guy's name?
Mm-mm.
But you know, the only person that I can think of, you know, with that just that small description that you was given, that, you know, if Chosen got a brother in Chicago that's into the music and thing, you know, and everything, gotta be Zach.
I'm sorry, the phone cut out.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
I said, you know, just like you said, if Chosen, you said he tried to make it seem like he never been to Chicago, but you think he have?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure? Okay, so you said he got a brother here in Chicago that he told you that's into music and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And right, that the only person that comes to mind, you know, that's dealing with Chosen, that's into music and all that stuff, the only person that I can think of, it would be Zach. So that explains how they was co-promoting each other, doing a fake interviews when Chosen interviewed him.
I don't know.
See, all this stuff just come to the light. It's all coming to the light, but it's not anything that, you know, we considered all this stuff, and you know, all this stuff is just confirmation. and then we go back and we look at the things he done and said, and it all just make perfectly good sense. But yeah, and okay, all right. What I want to ask you next, from all right, now at this point, you said he doing all of this, he up in the crib. And I recall him telling me and Rob, like for days, maybe even a week, or maybe even longer than a week, that he was supposed to have been leaving. His kid's mother was supposed to come pick him up and all this, but it took like a week or two. And then he had us thinking that someone, in fact, he had us thinking that one of his kids' mother did come pick him up. Can you tell the people how that really happened?
Yes, he has two women that he has children by. The oldest one that has the twins, they're not even on speaking terms. The one with the youngest baby, the one that he wouldn't give the money to for the diapers,
Mm-hmm.
he did contact her, but she let him know that she was done coming to his rescue. So
She let. Hold on. You said she let him know that she was
she
done.
let him
Uh-huh.
she was done coming to his rescue.
Okay.
So that wasn't the first time that he asked her to come and help get him out of something.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started just like trying to befriend people in this area, just random people,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to move to where they were so that he could get out of the house. And everything kept falling through.
Wait a
So
minute.
this drew out for 2 weeks.
Hold on. Let me make sure I'm getting you right. You said this guy started meeting random people in your neighborhood so he can get to know them and possibly move with them and stay in the area.
Yeah, like everything was still on social media. He didn't physically meet him, but there's a
Oh,
45
okay,
minutes.
okay. I understand what you're saying. You saying like the little tricks he was doing like on YouTube, on the live, trying to figure out who was in the area that was following the
Yes,
case along. Okay, yeah, yeah, he was doing that. I remember that. I remember he'll be like, "Who? If I'm in this state, who around?" And supporting all that. So that's what he really was doing.
yeah. So
But
I came home one day, and the
uh-huh.
same service that Rob had started for him, he was checking on if he could get it transferred.
Mm-hmm.
And when I asked him about it, he played dumb, like he didn't know what I was talking about. So, long story short, I ended up having to put him back to the airport. I picked him up
You broke up a
at
little bit.
another
You broke
female's
up.
house.
You broke up a little bit. You said, long story short, what?
I had to put him in my car and drive him back to Houston and dropped him off with another female who had been inboxing me asking me about Chosen.
Okay, all right. Before we get to that part, let me ask you this. Now, I just want to go back to the mother. Now, here it is. We got this dark-skinned, heavy-set woman all over YouTube that has been to Atlanta on trips, and she's all over YouTube saying that she's chosen mother. We showed you we sent you the picture yesterday. Is that his mother?
No,
Do you know who that woman is? Do you know
his
who?
mother.
No, no, I'm saying the picture that we showed you of the heavy set, dark skinned lady. Do you know who she is?
No, I've never seen her before.
Wow. So okay, now the thing with his mother, I also recall when you were saying that you talked to the mom and everything, and she was telling you that she don't want anything ever to do with Chosen again.
Right. She said she loved him.
Mm-hmm.
If he calls, she's going to talk to him, but that he was not welcome to stay.
She said that she loved him, and if he calls, she'll talk to him, but he's not welcome to stay with her.
Hmm.
And did she say why?
Well, she said he didn't do anything. He didn't help pay the bill. He would give her a little money. He just didn't help pay bills.
Yeah.
And she said he was broke when he left.
You broke
But yet
up.
again,
Okay, you was
he
breaking up
had
a little
money.
bit. Yeah, okay, but yeah, not but I recall like doing one of his lives where he was saying that You know, his mother had 30 acres of land, and when he was little, he used to have to go out and mow the land with a lawnmower and all this stuff. So I don't understand how can he go grow up mowing 30 acres of land, which is impossible to, you know, move in the house with you and not want to work or not want to, you know, help you out, period.
Right. I don't know either. I, I don't see him ever mowing any yards because he couldn't rake the leaves over here good.
Well, he told me and Rob that he went out. You didn't appreciate him cleaning, raking all all them leaves up out your yard. He said he even done that and you wasn't appreciative. You know, to let you know I'm telling the truth. Well, you know, I have no reason to lie. And you know, he said he cleaned your yard.
He went out. I have a very small backyard. He went out there and raked leaves. Being from the country, to rake that whole yard, it takes 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He was out there for about an hour and did half the yard and came in and said his back hurt. So, and Chosen is younger than I am.
Wow. You got that right.
And
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I did appreciate him raking the yard, but I think he was waiting for me to congratulate him for his work. No.
You say you think he was waiting on you to congratulate him for raking the yard out. He probably was.
Yeah.
And you know, at this point, I know you gotta see at this point, you know, like we were just saying with the crazy stuff he doing. And then like it got to that point, like I said, he had me and Rob thinking that one of his kids' mother came to pick him up from your house. And it took her because he was telling us every day, he waiting, he waiting. And it took so long that we stopped asking. We actually thought that y'all had worked it out or whatever, or he was gonna stay there. And you know, one day he just up and said, "Man, I'm finna be gone. My ride finna come." Now, one time did he, you know, and there was no reason for him to lie. And there it is again. He just told us that somebody came to pick him up.
No, I had one of my employees ride with me to drop him off
And you took him back to Texas.
back to Texas to the lady's house that I guess he's with now.
Yeah, that's where he at now in Houston, Texas. And when you took him back to Texas, what happened? Like, you know, upon dropping them off and stuff.
Well, at first he just kept saying drop him off at a random place and he'll have somebody pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him no, I was gonna in a lot of
Okay, can you repeat that, please? I'm sorry.
Okay. He wanted me to drop him off somewhere random.
Uh-huh.
So he'll know I'll see where he's going.
Uh-huh.
And he didn't want to give me the address. And I told him, you know, you've asked for several rides to get out of here, and you've given people my address. If you didn't have a problem giving mine out, you need to give me the address to where you're going so I can make sure that you are out of my life. Safely out of my life. So he finally gave it to me, and I dropped him off. And when we got there, I volunteered to help him get stuff out of the car. And he didn't want me to help. So when I walked up to the door, I stepped in the threshold, and I couldn't see anybody. So I don't know whose house it was for sure, but I just had a feeling that's where I was dropping him.
So y'all get to this house. Did he have keys to it?
No, somebody unlocked the door.
And you never saw the person that was in the house?
No.
And I remember I asked you this yesterday, but I can't remember what you said. Was it furniture and stuff in the house?
Mm-hmm. It was fully furnished.
It was fully furnished. Wow, that's crazy. So, and I also recall yesterday when you were saying, you know, you dropped him off and you tried to help him with his bags. What happened when you tried to help him with his bags?
He would yank them out of my hand to keep me from going up to the house.
Wow. So, hold on.
Yeah, and it started raining real bad, so I'm trying to help him get the stuff out quicker because it's pouring down rain. And he was just blowing up the process. He would take the bags he had and then stop midway and yank something out of my hand.
So here it is, let this brother live up with you. And then he upset that, you dropping him off to where he want to be, where he needs to be. And did he tell you thanks or anything?
No, he didn't. And I had to ask him for gas money. He didn't want to give me that.
Did he give it to you?
He did. Not enough, but he did.
And then he got the nerve to be trying to snatch his bags and stuff out of your hands, and you drove him all the way from another state back to Texas, and all this crazy stuff. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But he want to make us think that you was non-appreciative, and
there was nothing to appreciate. Before, I was married before for 16 years, so I know the role of a man, and he doesn't come anywhere close to that.
To me, it sounds like he just a womanizer. And all that, he jumped from woman to woman, any woman that whatever he can get some out of. That's because he sounds like a young guy that do all that.
And he doesn't care what they look like as long as he has somewhere to lay his head. That's all he cares.
And then with the stealing the people identities and robbing people with the credit card, and all that stuff. This stuff crazy, because I'm telling you, this guy have hurt a lot of people, and a lot of people have donated money to this guy, and he just scamming them. He just, like you say, he's sitting, with all this and just steady raking the money in, and people doing it not just out the kindness of their heart, is because they believe in it, that this guy is, standing beside us all fighting a real mission. But, in fact, he's doing the total opposite. And then here it is, this guy just taking people hard on money and trust and, and all that, and abusing it.
Yeah. I started to get on that page that was created, and just make a statement and let everybody know, but I didn't want to put myself out there.
No, I feel you. I feel you. It was a lot of crazy stuff going on at that time, and we all was in the dark on a lot of things. So that's very understandable. About you probably would just like, once you got rid of him, you probably just wash your hands with like, I'm done with all that stuff.
I did. I blocked and deleted everything, and I haven't looked back.
Right. Yeah. So I can understand you on that. But yeah, this stuff is crazy. And then who would do something like that? By first of all, sneak out your mother house, a grown man sneaking out of his mother house while she's asleep, and then sneak out with her television and her, her little wine coolers and stuff. And I also remember you said yesterday when he moved in your house, you had, a little liquor in your house. What happened to that?
Oh yeah, that was all gone by the next day.
You drank it? I mean, y'all drunk it together?
No. Now I drink wine, red wine. But I'm talking about, I had some Crown, some 1800s. And it was definitely, and it was all gone. So I thought, well, maybe he just, was celebrating moving. I don't know. I went and bought some more, and that was gone. And all of this he's drinking is in a day and a half, maybe 2 days top. So I told him, I am not buying liquor for us. If I buy something, don't touch it.
Wow.
So that's when he started making his own trips to get what he wanted.
It got to the point where you had to tell him, don't touch your liquor. Okay, now let me ask you this, because I can clearly see that he has a heavy drinking problem. And I know I asked you this yesterday, when he wouldn't have liquor, how would he be?
It's Hmm. It's hard to describe. It was like he was just in a trance, like he was waiting until he could get it. And from here, the liquor store is open in the, and he wakes up early.
He wakes up early, got to
So,
have his liquor.
so it was torture for wait until they open.
And like you said, it's good that you didn't drink with him because, like I told you when we was in Atlanta, you know, you know, I don't know what he was drinking, but at that time I was, you know, playing around with the camera and we was, you know, having a little fun. And you know, I was the one with the phone, you know, doing the filming, and I couldn't really go over to the table and fix my own drink, but he was drinking on something, and I was like, you know, what's this you drinking? I can't recall what he said, and I just took a little bitty sip, and that little bitty sip put me out for the whole entire night. Everybody, you know, that went to Atlanta, you know, and you know, all our people over here, they done heard us tell this story numerous of times. I slept to the next day, and I'm like I said, thank God I didn't take a swallow, because just that little bitty sip put me out. And my
How did
point,
it happen? Acting.
you say, how did it happen?
Yeah, how was he acting drinking it?
Well, I showed photos of him just like he was in a trance, but you know, and when like you said, how was he acting? And
Mm-hmm.
we even showed a video where Rob asked him, you know, we were just sitting, you know, in Atlanta chilling, and you know, Rob was on live at the time, just talking to the subs. Rob turned around and asked Chosen, what you drinking? What you got in that cup? Without hesitation, Chosen instantly responded that he got eye drop. Now that was crazy. First of all, Rob asked him what was he drinking. He didn't even tell Rob the kind of liquor he was drinking. His only response was eye drop. And I mean, he said that like eye drop was the only thing in the cup what he was drinking. But still, though, that was strange for him to give that type of response because you know normal people don't even play them type of games.
You don't. When we go to clubs in Dallas, they check your purse, and if you have Visine in there, they won't let you take it either.
Right. And see that's crazy. But for him to say something like that, obviously that was on his mind. And you know, and obviously that's something that he into. And you know, my point is it's good that you didn't drink with that dude because he probably would have put something in your drink and who knows.
Right. Well, my mom works as a district attorney here,
Hmm.
and I did introduce him to her, and it may have made him a little nervous, but still, he knew not to be fooling with me.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, but it's good you got that dude from around you.
Yeah, I told him he had to go.
You didn't have any kids in the house or anything, did you?
No, my children are grown.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't bring anybody around them like that.
All right.
And
When I asked that, I was yeah right. I feel you. I feel you 100%.
I shouldn't have
Yeah,
brought him
yeah.
around me either, though. But
Right.
you
Yeah.
live and you learn.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I mean, you know, you was just trying to live. You know, you just thought you met somebody like every other person do. You know, you just thought you met somebody and you was just trying to live. The bottom line, you was just trying to keep your life moving, thinking that you met somebody that was possibly cool and you was trying the next step with them. But you know, good thing you got up out of that situation.
Hmm.
That's how we all do. We meet somebody and then we move into that next step. And you know, as you go further and further, you learn more and more about each other. But in this case, as quickly you learn what you learn very quickly because you dodged a very big bullet.
Yes.
You dodged a nuclear bomb.
And
You dodged one of them submarine torpedoes. Something
wish
very
I could have helped
explosive.
y'all dodge it.
Oh yeah, but you know, it's good, and I was just talking about that. It's good. I mean, it's crazy that we had to go through it, but look where we all at today. If we didn't go through that, we at least we getting some good out of it. The fact that we went through all of that, and it brought us all together now. Because believe me, it's a lot of people in here. listening to you tell the story. And then even after that, I'm gonna send you the link. And after this, a lot of people gonna even more gonna hear you, and it's good. And that's our whole purpose, is to get the word out, to stop these fools from doing what they doing. Because, like I said, they have hurt a lot of people. They have lied to a lot of people. A lot of people lost a lot of sleep. And then you can contest to that, because me and Rob used to be on the phone with this dude 24/7.
Yes.
And
Yes.
me and Rob was out there doing that footwork. That me and Rob here in Chicago, we was doing the business, and we would call Chosen and talk on the phone after we go put the work down. Besides, I'm not talking about the information he came with. I'm talking about the information that me and Rob got that caused us to go out on the streets of where we live at and do what we did. And you were sitting right there. I mean, he was in your house at the time me and Rob was doing this. So that to be true.
You, Rob, everybody was out gathering information for him. He literally was just sitting at home and collecting what everybody else was doing and profiting. I just wanted to say that Chosen. He's a con artist. He's good at what he does, but he's not chosen.
Yeah, he ain't that good, because we popped his ass off. He ain't that good. He just he worked it. He worked it on us. We admit that he worked it on us for a minute, but we caught his ass. We glad we caught him at this point, because I always say, imagine if we still be following this clown. Ain't no telling what type of situation we'll be in. But yeah, and then like that, but that just blew my mind back to find out that Chosen got a brother here in Chicago, which could possibly be Zach. And we just recently had a conversation with Zach about a week ago, and it make more. It just the pieces just coming together and make more sense. But this dude Chosen is a fraud, and we got to get this dude up out of here. He don't deserve to be on YouTube or nowhere. He done scam people, rob people. And the whole thing around him and these fake people. He got this lady that's coming up here saying that she's his mom, and we already know that's not his mother, and all this other crazy stuff that's coming out on him. And like the way we like to do it over here, Kalandra, we like to, say what we're gonna say, bring the truth, and then bring the facts with it. If it ain't factual, if it don't make sense, we don't touch it. We investigate and we go thoroughly. And one thing I want you to know, we all, speak for me and Rob, the whole entire Real Justice League. You remember when we was with Chosen, we used to call ourselves the Justice League. But now that we no longer with him, we call ourselves the Real Justice League.
That's cool.
And I want you to know that me and Rob and the entire Real Justice League family, everybody over here in the chat, everybody that's listening, we appreciate you very much coming through, because you strengthened what you did was strengthen our case against this clown. And he's not the only one. There's a couple more people that he working with, on YouTube, that's doing the exact same thing that he's doing. And they all gonna get taken down. But we do appreciate you coming through. And me and Rob will be in touch with you soon. Like we said, we're gonna give you some support. And we're gonna, and I don't know if you want to say it now or me and you talk later and we figure out a way to do it. Well, I know you got your business going, and we want to find a way to help support you on that. Because like Rob told you yesterday, our people over here, we got a lot of sisters that's following us, and they strong sisters. The brothers and the sisters over here, we're a strong family, and we all will support you in any way that we can.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So I don't know how you want to do that, if you want to say something about it now, or if you want to me and you talk later, and then like I said, we figure out a way to do it, but it's totally up to you.
We can talk later.
Okay, so everybody, I'm gonna come back. Me and Kalandra gonna talk on a later note, and we're gonna get some information about her business, and we're gonna try to find a good way to support her, her and her business. and just show our gratitude for her coming through and, you know, telling us what we already knew, but and some of the things that we didn't know, but most definitely some of the things that we needed to know. So again, I want to let you know, Kalanja, everybody in the chat is telling you they appreciate you for coming through and bringing facts, because that's what you brought. And, you know, not one time did, you know, I don't think me, Rob, or nobody in the family disbelieve you. We believe everything that you're saying. And like I said, me and Rob is a witness that he was living with you because we was communicating on the phone with him every day. And you a witness to, you know, because of that same fact that he was communicating with me and Rob every day, and then what transpired during that time. So, you know, it all worked out. And again, I'm glad you came through. And me and Rob will be in touch with you real soon. And I want you to have a great day. Continue your day. And just be, you know, like you said, this whole situation that taught you a lesson. We are never too old to learn. And that's what we got to keep doing. That's what life about. So I just hope that, you know, you take that lesson of dealing with that fool and move different. And make better decisions. But you always got us over here to support you no matter what. Maybe we can come up with some type of way to set up on social media to help promote the business or whatever. But like you said, we'll talk about it later. And again, everybody want to thank you for coming through, Kalanja. We appreciate it. And you have a good day. Is there anything you want to say before you exit the building?
No. I tried to put out as much as I could.
Okay.
I didn't say something that I didn't know that, you know, was out there. So I only spoke.
Okay. You had broke up a little bit. You want to say it again?
I said I didn't fabricate anything that I said. And if I did not know it was a fact, then I didn't speak on it.
Bam, and that's how we move. And that's why we love you and we appreciate you, because that's exactly how we move over here. We thank you, and you have a great day. And me and Rob will be in touch with you soon, sister. And God bless you.
Okay. You all too.
All right, you have a good one.
Bye.
All right. Well, there it is, y'all. Y'all know how we do. Did I do a good job, y'all? Did I do a good job slicing that food? Yeah, I couldn't have done it without y'all. Couldn't have done it without my brother Rob being on my side, and we doing this thing side by side, and with y'all got our back and we got each other back. This thing is no game. This dude is continue to play, but we're gonna let him play, but we're gonna get his ass up out of here. Man, I thank the support y'all be giving us. We love it. We love y'all. Because without y'all, there would be no us. It'd be impossible. Man, yeah, this stuff crazy. The whole get deeper with this dude. We knew it all the time. It had to be something with him and Teresa. We knew that. We knew it had to be something with him and Teresa Martin. Yeah, if I just tried to get the important things out where I tried to get everything. Where I think we covered everything. And man, this stuff is crazy. So we don't know what is next. As we know, he like to play some type of kitty chess game. We'll see what he pull out his ass next. Because that's where he get all his information out his ass. That's why that's why he do all his nonsense. But yeah, that sister came through. She laid it down, gave us some more facts, and we appreciate her coming through. I love each and every last one of y'all. Thanks everybody I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that's saying I did a great job. Thanks. I love y'all. Like I said, I'll be looking forward. There go my brother. There you go. Rob said he about to slice that food to pieces. So we all finna go over to Rob. And Rob gonna touch up on the interview we just did. And at the same time, he gonna be slicing. Y'all know how Rob do. He multitask their ass. And thanks to everybody that came in the chat and, you know, saw this interview. Robert Champion, Andrea, Victoria, L. Slider, Barbara, Lowman, Renee is moving kind of fast, Lovely the Great, Labor of Love, Divine Embrace, Brenda Atkins, everybody, Fifi, Scanners Love, Tanya, Pretty Green Eyes, man, everybody love each and every last one of y'all. My brother Rob, brother Yaya, and 50 Tsunami, Rhea Bowman, Sunshine, my sister El Benani, Nene, Zena King. Yeah, yeah, we took care of that dude. I told y'all today is D-Day. So in the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna get ready to exit the building. Once again, I love each and every last one of y'all. Y'all have a safe rotation wherever y'all go. Right now, it should be safe because we all should be getting ready to rotate over to Rob. Let Rob slice these foods. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna get ready to step on up out the place, exit the building. I love y'all once again, and I'm out.